Mark Bennett. They did, and they provided those amendments without consulting the Hawaiian people. We already have trouble with that.
Right, and I'd like to say, too, that they're non-Kanaka. So you have non-Kanakas in D.C. representing and making compromises, major compromises, on behalf of Hawaiians who they have absolutely no business representing. They have not, they're in D.C. talking about us. They're not talking to us. They're not talking with us.
They're talking over us.
That's right. They're talking over us.
Right. Well, it's the state government talking to the federal government.
Right.
In the first place, that's already a bad
yeah. We're on the side watching as they decide our future for us. How does that make you feel?
And what's even worse is that these amendments were made and without consulting even OHA. Okay? And that was evident in press releases by OHA trustees after the amendments were submitted, and again confirmed in the board meeting yesterday.
Okay, so let me ask you about this, and I am going to want to talk about a couple of the specific amendments, but to me, I have a hard time, and I respect what was going on, that you folks went there in a peaceful way and asked them to withdraw their support for this bill. But I'm sitting on the other side, sort of witnessing it, but also feeling very emotional about it as a Hawaiian person, and I'm thinking, well, of course, I know some of the trustees feel a little kanalua about the bill now, but they're the ones that started this train rolling anyway. They're the ones who've been funding. It's been coming through. The money for the lobbying to patent Boggs and all these other things have come. And in fact, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs even has an office in Washington, D.C. So all of the money is being funneled through that agency to support this bill. So how do you feel about some of the things that you heard the trustees saying yesterday about feeling sad or not trusting the bill so much anymore when it's actually their train?
Right. To me, it's very disturbing. I mean, that was the language they used. You have Rowena Akana, Donald Cataluna, Al Stender, Dante Carpenter expressing how they agree with us. It's very troubling, very disturbing to see these amendments. But what's even more disturbing is, despite that, they say, well, we're still going to support the Akaka Bill. Now, the only word that I can think of to describe it is completely irresponsible. When they're saying they're admitting that it's very disturbing, troubling, and that they don't agree with it. They didn't like it either. But we're going to stay on course.
Yeah, kind of George Bush of them.
Yeah, it's irresponsible, and I have to question their competency. These are the people representing us. What's wrong with that picture?
Kind of defies logic to say it's a bad bill, but we're going to support it. It's the best we have, and we're going to support it.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for years now, and the best they have keeps getting worse somehow.
That's right. It keeps getting worse and worse.
It's been in steady decline since its conception.
Right. And now that the waterfall's in sight, they still don't want to jump ship. And you got a question, a sense of intelligence here.
Well, that's why, though, after deliberation, we decided as Huipu to go in the manner that we did, because we thought this gives them an opportunity, a way out, so to speak. That these recent amendments, one that they weren't consulted on, were amendments that they never supported. So we thought in going in this manner, this gives them a reasonable way out to say, this is not the bill that we supported, these recent amendments. It gives us an opportunity. We agree with you. We pull support. Akaka pull the bill.
So it was almost an opportunity for them to save face.
Right. And we also offer, we would support OHA. We would provide strong support in OHA's decision if they would, stop supporting the bill. Stop supporting the bill and say that enough is enough. This is taking us into very dangerous territory, and we can't do it. And they still refused very stubbornly to do that. As a matter of fact, I heard Linda De La Cruz yesterday say, I support the Akaka Bill for my own reasons, and I don't got to tell you what they are. And I'm thinking, Linda, OHA isn't your private little empire. I don't know if anyone told you that, but you're supposed to be representing the Hawaiian community.
Well, does it actually function more as a little empire, though, in reality?
Well, absolutely. I think a lot of people out there would agree with that.
I mean, it is a state agency. I mean, I think that's a mistake that we as Hawaiians, all of us, have been making this mistake since OHA, began, was 20-something years ago. Just because it has the word Hawaiian in it doesn't mean it's for Hawaiians.
Right.
Just because there's Hawaiians mostly running it doesn't really mean it's for Hawaiians. Because it seems to me that as an agency, it ends up sort of becoming the entity that negotiates. In this case, it's negotiating our surrender, let's say. It's negotiating the terms
Absolutely.
of annexation 100 years later.
Absolutely. Listening to Boyd Mossman's comments yesterday really verifies what you're saying to be true. He questioned us, our motives, and he said, I don't think you guys ever liked the Akaka Bill from the get-go. And I think, you're here saying you don't like the amendments, but I think you have a deeper agenda. And I'm thinking to myself, you think? You mean you finally got it? And I wonder, he questioned us, you guys are talking about restoring the kingdom and independence. And, I couldn't help but wonder, who is he working for? Is this guy a government agent? Is he working for America? Or is he working for Hawaiians? Because the language that he used yesterday really indicated to me that he ain't working for us. He's an American.
But he's sworn an oath to the state of Hawaii. He is literally a government agent.
Yeah.
He's sworn an oath.
Yeah.
So the answer to that question is he's working for the state of Hawaii.
That's right.
And I think that's a mistake that Hawaiians make, even watching the way that it was happening yesterday, and there was one of the things I thought was actually really beautiful about it was there was a lot of Olela Hawai'i. People were speaking the language, and I love that. But it's not a Hawaiian agency, no matter how much Hawaiianism or Hawaiianness is going on there.
Well, we understand their responsibility or their role as an OHA trustee. We were appealing to their deeper sense, and their deeper sense as Hawaiians, to their know-how, and to ask them personally. And we saw that yesterday. We saw some of that response. Now, I think we also have to step back. Huipu has been opposed to the Akaka Bill from day one, from our formation. But when we initially approached OHA about 3 months ago, our request was to provide an opportunity to give equal education of the bill.
Right.
We went forward, we proposed a plan, we submitted a budget plan to allow us some monies so that we could go out in the community and educate the people on the other side of the Akaka Bill. Because up to that point, they were only submitting education for support of Akaka Bill.
That's right.
So we thought that was wrong.
Right. And I just want to add to that, they utilized monies that are supposed to benefit all Hawaiians to support their agenda, which is pro-Akaka, and we challenged them on that. We said, look, we're all we're asking for is fair representation. Support both sides of the story. They put a lot of money into supporting the Akaka Bill, millions, and they have not given anything to the Kanakas that are in opposition to the Akaka Bill. We have had to pool our monies. We have had to fundraise and scrape together what we could to do what we've done. But we did challenge them on that, and they came back and said, hey, you want some money? Get a nonprofit, apply for a grant, we'll give it to you. So that's exactly what we did. And we asked for $24,980, and we got denied it. And the interesting thing is, Clyde Namuo advised us on this. He said, look, you guys, I can authorize up to $25,000 without going to the Board of Trustees. I can do that with my own authority. So, if you request under $25,000, I'm giving you my word, I'll approve it so you guys can get out there and have something to educate the people, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we sat in a one-on-one meeting like this, and then he even advised us on what kind of language to use. Make sure that it's education-based. So he kind of guided us, and then at the last minute reneged on us, and they never gave us nothing. Mm-hmm. So opposition is coming from the people. Mm-hmm. OHA is not supporting anything to do with anything other than pro-Akaka Bill support.
It's been mostly a one-sided...
It's been a total one-sided.
But I have to say, I mean, just to clarify a little bit, I know they have given some support because I know that Francis Boyle came, and that was through the Nation, One Piece organization, Nation of Hawaii. So I know that they have given some little bit of support to a few specific events, but nothing in comparison.
What's that about the Akaka Bill, though?
Well,
was that driven by opposition to the Akaka Bill?
Well, it's hard to say because, and that's actually